Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give everyone about 30 seconds to a minute for everyone to join us. I think we have a large crowd today. We're very, very excited. Hello. Oh, there's so many people here. Hello. Oh, this is awesome. All right, we're going to get rolling just because Julia has a lot of content to share with us today. Everyone, welcome. My name is Emily. I am the Designlab community and student advocate. My journey with Designlab, I started as a student, and I'm sure we have a lot of students here today and people who have been checking us out. So welcome again. Like I said, I started as a student. My journey with Designlab started about 4 years ago, and I'm so excited to see where it's gone up until today. And as a result of its kind of growth, these webinars are actually a result of it. So it's really, really exciting to see us grow and kind of us to be able to share this kind of experience with you guys. So yeah, really happy you guys are here. Today we are kicking off our first of many partnered webinars with Adobe, we hope. And we're really excited to have Julia here. She's an XD instructor. And we have Jamie here as well. She kind of helps us run this whole thing behind the scenes. And she's going to be co-hosting with us. So she's going to be spending, Jamie will be spending the next hour in chat and answering questions while Julia spends the next hour going over Adobe XD and all the fun things you can do with it. Trust me, it's a lot. I'm still learning and I'm probably going to learn a lot from this webinar as well. Before I hand over the reins to Julia, I do want to go over some logistics. So a lot of you are utilizing chat and questions already. That is awesome. So chat and questions. So chat, feel free to introduce yourself, where you're from, why you're here. You know, are you a student? Are you looking at Designlab? Are you just interested in Adobe XD? Whatever it is, we want to know. If you have any questions related to Adobe or Designlab questions, we would like to filter through the questions tab, just so that way Jamie and I can work on getting you guys answers as Julia is presenting. We do have a few polls set up just because we want to understand, you know, what brings you here today? What's your experience with Adobe XD? We may throw more polls up as the presentation goes on, but definitely love to see that there are so many people from kind of everywhere. Lots of beginners here, which is awesome. Yeah, this is great. Everyone's so excited. All right, cool. So so really quick, there is going to be a fun giveaway at the end. Jamie is going to be posting a trivia question at some point in the chat, I believe. So basically whoever answers within the first minute, and then we'll kind of randomly select a winner then, but the winner gets a free year of Creative Cloud. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, I'm going to hand it over to Julia and then we're going to get started.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. My name is Julia Masalska. Let me quickly share my screen with you guys so you kind of can see a little bit more than just my video. All right. Hopefully this is on now. All right. Looks like it is. Okay.
Yes, we can see you just fine, Julia. It looks great.
Awesome. Cool. Well, let me start with a little introduction about myself. Thanks to Designlab for hosting us today, and you know, giving so many people this opportunity, learning about Adobe XD. And me myself, I am a graphic designer since over 5 years, and I am concentrating mostly in branding and packaging, and I'm using Adobe tools on my daily basis. So this is why I also, since 2018, started doing educational content for Adobe Live. You might know Adobe Live already. If you don't, it's you will find it on behance.net/live. And from this year, I started doing, you know, introduction into XD, and I became an XD instructor. So this is why I'm here. And again, thanks so much for joining, everybody, and taking your time to learn something about XD. And yeah, besides Adobe, I also have my own YouTube channel. It's called the Made channel. You will find, you know, the little link at the bottom. And on the left side, you will see my Instagram handle, where you can also feel free to follow me. So, all right, I'm just gonna decrease my volume here a little bit. Okay, so again, thanks everyone for joining. And So today we're going to be talking about XD as a very powerful tool for designing, prototypes or just designing in general. There's so many things you can do in XD, but that I will show you just in a little bit. So us as designers, we kind of act as advocates for for the users that we're creating for. If I'm creating for my client, I want to create out of their perspective, and I want to show them the perfect visualization of what I'm creating for them. So as designers, we research, iterate, and test designs, making sure the product is as easy to use as possible, and it actually solves a problem for the user. And today, we as designers, we have a lot of pressure. We have to do things very quickly. We have to make quick prototypes, and we have to, of course, collaborate, of course, across different platforms. And that is something we're going to see in XD as well. So how can XD help UX designers? We like to think as of XD as a tool created by designers and for designers. And fun fact is also that XD is created in XD. So that I think is a very interesting fact. So as you can see here, you can wireframe, design, prototype, present, collaborate, create design system, and even go into production with Adobe XD. Okay, and the most important focus on of XD is to to create this experience of a seamless workflow, and therefore we have three buttons at the top that are design, prototype, and share. Let's just quickly jump into XD actually. So as you can see at the top, we have design, prototype, and share. In the design part, you can design your experience even using vectors. So this is amazing. You don't have to, jump into another software to change vector files. You can just create everything here in XD. Prototype allows you to create connections between the different artboards that you're creating. So as you can see, it looks very similar to other design software like Illustrator, for example, where you have artboards. So here I'm also working with artboards. And so this interface looks very complex right now, but it's still very seamless, and it's really, seamless in the scrolling and in the zooming. You will not lose any, the optimization is so good that you don't even, have any weird images while scrolling there and back. So prototype allows you to create relationships between artboards. So as you can see here, I have created this animation between my two artboards. So how does this look? We can see it here. If we click the play button, we can see my animation going. And it's that easy. This is just made from two artboards. And if you compare this to other software like After Effects, where you have to create something inside a timeline, it can become really complex. And XD allows you this, different prototyping tools like Auto Animate that I just mentioned to kind of create these experiences very easily. And here, at least in the end for sharing, we have the share button where you can share your work with others. We will get to that in a little bit. So let's get back to design, and let's take a look on the left side. You will find the tool panel that looks very simplified, but it is very powerful. We have the square tool where we can make a regular, rectangle or square. We have the circle tool, the triangle tool, the line tool, and even we have the pen tool where we can start creating custom vectors. So this is also amazing. It really allows you to, to create something completely new and to redesign something in XD without even leaving the application. If we go down here at the bottom, you will see these little three icons. One of them shows you, One of them shows you the assets that are located in your artboards, or you can also access your CC libraries. If you click on this little button here, you can see I was working on a branding project, so I can take my assets and pull them right into my file. And here I can even, I can even pull in just any files that I have in my CC libraries. As you can see, I have a lot of different libraries as well, and I can access them all through this little button. Okay, and of course, you can also link assets here. If we go down here, we will see there are all the different typefaces, all the different colors, all the different components and character styles that are located inside the artboards. Now, if we go on the second button, we will find all the layers that we are working on. As you can see, this document is pretty complex. We have a lot of layers. We have a lot going on. So it's always good to have an overview, to find things. You know, it's really easy to access. And here at the bottom, you will see the little plugin button. So XD has a lot of additional plugins that you can install, and I can show you some of my favorite ones in a little bit. All right, so let's jump right into the tools. I want to show you some of the powerful tools that XD has to offer. So let's start with a tool that's called Repeat Grid. So if we go onto the site, this might look familiar if you guys have ever designed UX or UI experiences. Here we see this grid that's repeating. We have this major object that's kind of, you know, is arranged in a grid. So it's a repeating design, but the different pictures vary, of course. So in order to create something like this, XD has created a very powerful tool called Repeat Grid. And how that works is you just select your object that you want to repeat. So I have my little design element here. And now if I click on Repeat Grid at the bottom right, I can just simply pull my little sliders to the sides, and XD creates automatically a grid for me. And even then I can adjust the distances between my parts here and adjust the padding. And so this really, you know, gives you the opportunity to save a lot of time. And I found this very helpful to create quick prototypes if you need something, you know, to be done by today. This is a very great tool to kind of optimize your and, you know, speed up your process. Okay, so Repeat Grid is one of the things that are really amazing in XD. Let's get into the next tool that's called Responsive Resize. I think this is a great tool because nowadays we don't only create for the screen, for the desktop screen, we also create for the iPad, we create for the different sizes of phones. It can be an iPhone, it can be a Samsung phone, and they all have different screen sizes. So how can we create, you know, an experience that, you know, that helps us to save time while creating for all these different sizings? So let's go over here and I'll show you real quick how a responsive resize works. So let's say we have this element from the mobile phone and we want to, apply this design to the iPad. So what I do is simply I copy and paste it in my iPad artboard, and all I have to do is click the little responsive resize button here, and automatically XD knows that you want to resize this object responsively. So this can also, you know, help you save some time while designing for different screens. Now let's take a look how this looks even if we increase the size to a web 1280 pixels wide. So again, I copy and paste my object, and I can even resize this to this length, and everything stays in place where it belongs. You can stick the objects to the left, to the right, to the top, or to the bottom, and you can definitely modify this type of things. All right, so this is already really exciting, but it's getting even more exciting. We can go and take a look at the content-aware resize. So how does this work for objects that have a lot of content, like here? So let's try and responsively resize our pretty complex, you know, website that has images, that has icons, that has several elements, you know, a button. So let's take a look at this. It automatically resizes the photo, you know, pulling it in from the middle. And it can recognize that this button, you know, has to stay in the middle, that this button, you know, has to go all over the page. So this is also really an amazing tool that can help you resize. And the same thing you can also do for dialogues. So let's take a look at this. We resize this dialogue, and we can totally save some time, you know, not relocating single objects, but, you know, just pulling this whole box to the side. All right. Now let's take a look at, so one of the things that you can create here is also, you can create very complex graphics like this, even using different gradient fills and so on. So it's even possible to create icons and everything like that inside XD. Okay, so now let's take a look at Auto Animate and its features. I want to present to you something that is basically a holistic experience of prototyping, and we'll go a little bit more into detail later. So let's take a look at this. We have an application here. You can see there's multiple artboards. They all have connections. So if we go into prototype here, you will see that if I click on an artboard, there's different relationships between the artboards. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Actually, these are not connected yet. So what we can do is, let's say we want to create an animation from this artboard to this artboard. So we just simply have to pull this little trigger here, and on the right side we can define what this trigger is going to do. So let's say we are creating a little overlay. No, never mind. A little transition. So and the animation will be slide left. So now let's see how this looks. We click and it slides to the left. Okay, so now let's take another one. Let's program something where you have to type. So let's say I want to have this box here. If I click this box, we will have this little piece here pop up. So how can we do this? We will have to create an interaction with these two. And the transition will be tap, of course, overlay, oh no, never mind, transition, and it's going to be to our mobile keyboard. Okay. Sorry, I will have to put this in here real quick. So we can create basically an animation where this part slides up. All right, guys, so I would like to show you a little bit more complex things that we can create. So if we look at this site here, for example, if we go on to prototype, let's take a look at this. So here we have a parallax function that's built in here. So as you can see, when I'm sliding up, these parts are staying where they are, right? So if I'm sliding up, I fix these objects to the artboard. Okay, and we can also create even complex things like this with overlays here at the top. So let's take a look at this part. Like that. And we have this little transparency here at the top. Okay. All right, now let's take a look at something that is called states. We have states and prototype where we can create amazing things like that. So if I'm playing this, you can see we have interactions here happening, right? So we have a different states that we can create between the objects. even you know, using only one artboard. We have a check state here. We have the option switcher. We have the notifications bar that can just pop up. We can create something like this, the volume toggle, a radio, a heart. We can create something where we can, you know, see a text field where we can type something, and even something like that. And those things I'm going to show you real quick here on the example of this button. So let's take a look at the different states that are in here. So let's say we have created a hover state. That means when we hover over a button, this is how it looks like. And then if we press the button, how does that look like? So let's say our default state is this, and then we want to create a different state. So we just simply click this little button here, and it creates a new state. So the trigger will be hover. So now if we hover onto this button, we want to transition to the hover state. And let's see how this looks. So now if I'm hovering over this button, the color changes. And this is a very simple animation, prototyping animation that we can create to kind of better show the, you know, how it will look like in the application that we are creating. All right, that will be that. And now I would like to for you guys to see something that is called a voice. Sorry, live co-editing. And I would like to show you a little video on that so that you better understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so for that, I'm going to quickly adjust my my audio so you guys can hear what the video is saying. Oops.
How awesome would it be to be able to have another designer or designers working with you together on the same document at the same time via live co-editing? This is now possible in XD. Let's see that in action. So first of all, I'll create a new cloud document here. I'll give it a name. Let's click here. I'll give it a name, co-editing demo. Hit save, a cloud document. And the first thing I need to do to invite another designer is click on this little icon, and then I can invite one or multiple designers at the same time. So let's type the email here. Let's collaborate on this document. Hit invite. And now the invite is sent. So every designer added here will get that invite. Another thing you need to do is allowing co-editing to work. So you click there again, and then you enable co-editing. So now this will transform this document and will allow multiple designers to edit at the same time. So this is how the invite looks. So if you want to look how the invite looks, this is what this other designer will see. And as soon as they hit open, it will launch that document on their computers. So now I have another computer here by my side with this designer information. So let me click on that invite. Now it's opening XD with that document. And you see that avatar is now visible here with this orange ring around it. So now anything I do here will be visible on that computer. And let me do the same thing, but now from the other computer. So watch this. On this other computer, I selected the rectangle tool, and I will draw a rectangle. And you can see that this change that I'm making on this other computer, let me now do text. Hello there, this is Anna. You can see it's visible on your computer. And anytime I hover this, you can see that Anna, this other designer, is working here. And this is real-time live co-editing. One important thing, always make sure that you have the same version when you work with live co-editing. Because if you work with different versions, chances are things might break. Again, this is a beta feature, and we're working super hard to make it super solid and remove the beta label. But make sure you always have the same version. So go to XD, About, and then Version. You can do this by going to Creative Cloud and making sure you both have the latest version, so you'll be safe. So this is live co-editing, pretty awesome in XD.
Hey, Julia, can you hear us? Oh, we can't hear you. So maybe you can drop and we can re-add you again. Yeah, maybe Emily, you can re-add her so we get the audio back.
Yep.
Yep.
On standby.
On standby. So Julia, I don't know if, can the audience hear Julia? So Julia, it looks like we've lost audio. There you go. We're going to add her back in. We should be set to go. Thanks, guys, for your patience. You know how it is with technical difficulties, everyone working from home. I hope you're enjoying the session so far and all the cool features that are happening.
Hi, everyone.
In XD. Yes, there you are. Hi,
Sorry
Julia.
about that.
Connect back on and we'll be ready to rock. Thank you.
Okay, let's do this. Can you guys hear me? Okay. All right. So hopefully you enjoyed this little video intro. So so the cool thing is about live co-editing that it kind of gives us the opportunity, especially in this difficult time, to collaborate together. And right now it's in a beta version, but we are working on it and hoping, you know, to have this 100% in the near future. But you can definitely already test it out. And for that, what you have to do is you have to create a cloud document out of your file. So I'm creating my cloud document now, and then I'm able to kind of invite people to this document so they can kind of edit at the same time. All right, guys, I would like to jump to some of my favorite plugins now so I can show you a little bit of the add-ons that you can really easily create here. So let's say I would like to fill this little circle with an image of a person, or actually I have a better example here. Let me quickly find the better example. No. Yeah, right here. So here we again we had these profile pictures, and if that's something you have to create, all you have to do is create create a little circle, and then you can go into a plugin that's called UI Faces. So what I have to do is I have to select only one object, of course, and then all I have to do is click Apply, and automatically UI Faces fills this little circle with a photo. So you don't have to go on the internet, you know, look for pictures and put them into your artboard. All you have to do is just you know, just fill the circle. Now let's take a look at how plugins works. So here, if you click on the little plus sign, you will see all the different things you can do here in the plugins. Here you will see some essential plugins. You can also go on to browse and find different other ones. Like for example, one of my favorite ones is Undraw. Undraw I already have installed. It's also a very great feature to help you create more appealing designs in a very short time. So Undraw basically gives you illustrations that you can use in your prototypes. Let's say I want to add empty street illustration to my prototype. So now I can just pick an artboard and just Command V. Already I have my illustration, and it doesn't look that boring anymore. So now I can even go in and edit the little parts, work with the vectors, add things. I can go ahead and let's say I want to create a different shaped circle here. So what I can do is I can use the pen tool. I can easily go in here and create, a more interesting tree. Let's say like that. Okay, this is not the perfect tree, but you see what I'm saying. And here on the right side, you will find the properties panel that gives you only the things that you need to see, only the settings that you need to see for the tool that you're using. So now I'm using the pen tool. It gives me all the essentials here. It gives me the fill, the border, color. So I want to have the fill. Let's say I want to use my eyedropper and I want to use the exact same color. Okay, my tree really doesn't look that good, but I can easily, apply the colors that are located on my artboard. I can even add some blur here, and here I can also determine where I can, I want to fix this object for responsive resize. So all the settings that I need for this specific object, and that is a really amazing part about that. Now, we also have something that's called web export. That's also one of the plugins. I'm not sure how great the code is that you are exporting, but let's say I want to export this artboard as an HTML. I can export it by just clicking export, and let's say I want to create a new folder and call it trees website. Create, and now I'm going to put all the assets that are located on this artboard inside this. Okay, export already complete. Now let's take a look how it looks like. My trees website here, and I have my HTML. So now I can open this HTML, and as you can see, this is already pretty much arranged where it's supposed to be. HTML is perfect. All you have to do is add some CSS to it, of course. But yeah, there is a lot of amazing plugins here. You also can access your stock images, for example. So here, this plugin called Stock Image, where you can access Adobe stock imagery and put it right into your artwork. And you can even you don't even have to license smaller versions of the artwork. Let's say we want to look for something. Let's say we want to look for images with a baby in them. So I'm just looking for baby, and now I get all these different images that are loading up. So let's say I want this baby image, and I click download, and if I click the small quality, I don't even have any logo mark. And now I already have my baby photo here. And so this photo is in very low resolution. That's why I can even use it for free for now. And that's really good for when you're building prototypes in, for a client, just to show them how the example of your artwork could look like. So then you don't have to right away, download any imagery and commit. And there's also something that's called Unsplash Random Page. where you can a random image where you can fill an object with a random image as well. And there's lots and lots more. So that is also very amazing. I would like to know if you guys have any questions so far. Let me take a quick look. If you have any questions.
Hi, yeah, Julia, we've had lots of questions about the starter plan and how folks can get access to XD. So it might be good to tell them about how XD is free and not a trial and what that includes.
Yeah, for sure. So XD has a free version that has the full access to all the features that I was just showing you. So the amazing part is that it's accessible to anybody, so you can just download it and use it right away. And yeah, so you don't even have to have a Creative Cloud subscription with this. And yeah, you can just start right away and get into designing.
Yeah, that's great. So Creative Cloud is totally free to make an account, and XD is free to download and try out. And we have awesome extended promotional features up until October this year. So it's a great time to try XD. It's not a trial, so try it out.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely test that out. And there was also some questions, Julia, about what types of files can you open in XD? What types of can you open like an Illustrator file in XD or a sketch file?
Yeah, so what we can use here is called CC libraries. There's different ways to implement files into XD. You can just you can copy paste vector files from Illustrator. What I like to do is use the library. So my assets are saved in my library, and this is how I basically work. I create a project. Maybe I create some assets in advance, and I put them into my CC libraries, and then I can just drag and drop them here. Or what you can also do is you can of course open different types of files like images, even SVG files like vector files, PNGs, of course, PDFs. So there is a lot of different ways of kind of implement other files into XD.
I'm sorry if I didn't see this earlier, but did you show the whiteboard plugin by chance? Did we see how that could work with co-editing? Let's take a look at that.
Yeah. Okay, so we go back to our plugins. And install whiteboard. It is basically a new feature that helps you create brainstorming together. So let's say we want to create something like this, like an affinity diagram. And here we even have instructions on how to use it and what it is. And this can help you kind of create brainstorm ideas, then group them. And then you can even vote for the different ideas by just dropping little pins. Let's say I want to write a note here, and then I let everybody if in my team vote for the certain ideas. So while collaborating on a file, you can really work from different places, but still work in a similar way like you work in the meeting room. So that's a really amazing feature. And there is a lot of presets that you can access here that are totally free and free to access for you. Let's say we want to create a customer journey. So you really have all the explanations here on the right side, how to use them. And you have all the different phases and all the presets, all for you to learn how even to do these things. So even if you're new to customer journey maps or business model canvas, this can be really helpful, for you to learn how to work with other team members. So, and each and every of these presets here has a little explanation that you can definitely just remove and continue working on your own project. So this is amazing. And there's lots and lots of presets that you can use, flow charts, mind maps, and notes. And of course, you also save paper if you're not using any Post-its. So that's also a great part about that. Amazing. Is there any more questions so far?
Yeah, I think it would be cool. Did we go over how to make a shareable link and how the student, if they're making a project, can share that link with their mentor,
Yeah,
their
of course.
educator? Yeah, get feedback.
Sounds good. Okay, so we went through design and prototype, and now let's jump into share. So if we created a file, how do we share the file with others? So it's very simple, actually. On the right side here, you will find the different settings for the viewers. So you can share your file in different ways. So let's see what we have here. We can give the file either for design review, where you can see the visual elements. Then you can also share the file for development, where you have more advanced, information like what typefaces are used, what are the sizes of the artboards, what are the colors, and all the different elements basically you can share for development. Or you can also share it for presentation. Let's say you are creating a client presentation and you want the client to see your designs. So you share them as a presentation. And of course you can also share it as user testing, and you can even create your customized viewing experience, which is amazing. So let's say we want to share something for development, which is a little bit more advanced. So I click development here, and then you can also decide if the person is able to download the assets or not. And you can also even set a password. But I'm not going to do this right now. And I'm going to click create link. So now I'm getting this link that anybody can access through any web application. So let's take a look at the link, how it's going to look like. My file now is, of course, a little bit more complex. So I will have this link filled with a lot of information. So let's take a look how this is going to look like. So here I have all my different artboards. And let's take a look at what the development part looks like. So we have the screen details, we have the colors, we have all the character styles, and even the interactions inside our prototype. So here, if we click on the comment section, we can go and make a comment. Let's say, I want to say, I want to add another picture. Maybe let's say, please change the photo. And I'm submitting it, and the person can see what I commented on, because when I hover over my comment, the little note here, the little number is highlighted, and I can right away see what the person was talking about. And then the person can either resolve the problem or reply, like, why would I change the photo? Let's see. Okay, this is not a realistic scenario, but let's say the person changed the photo, and then you can click resolve and the comment is gone. So this is a really amazing, to kind of even share with your teachers. So let's say if you guys are submitting some of your design work and want some reviews, this is really amazing to share it that way and get the feedback right away and make it accessible for your teacher through their own, browser. Okay, is there anything else so far that we can answer?
Oh boy, we have so much excitement. Everyone's really enjoying the presentation. This is really great. I did have a cool question that I think you could probably answer pretty easily.
Yeah.
How do you find out what screen size you could design for? Like, how do you know what pixel dimension you should use? Does XD help you out at all and give you like some sizes to use to design with?
Yeah, for sure. So even before we create a file, we already kind of have this page that gives us the presets. Let's take a look how this looks. So file, new, and I already have these presets here that kind of already give me the basics of iPhone, iPad, web, and so on. And then you can decide what type of iPhone. But if you're already in the file and you want to create a new screen, a new artboard, you can click onto the artboard tool, and here on the right side, you will already see the different presets. So let's say I would like to create for an iPad. And I already have the dimensions that are perfectly aligned with the iPad screen size. So yeah, and we have all the different other presets here as well that you can pick from. We have the different iPad sizes, even iPad Pro, the regular iPad, and so on. So this makes it really easy to not think about the different, the different measures and go into Google and look it up. So you have all those things right here accessible. Any other questions that we can answer?
Yeah. So people are curious about resources, Julia. So being able to find UI kits and where to find additional training, and what's your recommendation for people to go to learn more about XD?
Yeah, for sure. So let's take a look at our Let's XD site. We're going to letsxd.com. And here you will find a lot of valuable content where you can learn from. Let's say you want to learn how to prototype, and you can view more even. There's even more videos on prototyping. And you can even go very specific, like into anchor links, into, back to top interaction, audio playback, and so on. So there's a lot here. And there's even some freebies, which I also really like. There's different kits that you can download for free, and they're accessible to you. Here's an animated Netflix logo, which is super cool. Here's an auto-animate UI kit as well that you can access. So there's a lots of resources, and there's even like links to plug. Let's go over here to the UI kits. That was, I think, the question. And here, yeah, here we have the different UI kits here for different software as well. But yeah, but here I think the learn button really helps out a lot. If we go into getting started, if you're new to XD and if you want to learn from scratch, I think this is really a cool page to start off with. So here you can learn styling an artboard, adding content, and so on, really step by step. And I believe that this is a really amazing, site to start off learning. Okay.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool. Let's see, we still have a few minutes, so I think we can take some more questions here. I did just get an interesting one about how you can turn on the grids view in design mode in XD, and where that is in the properties panel. So we can just show that.
So let's take a look. So let's go back to the little application that I was showing you earlier. So we have this grid right here. Let's go back to its initial state. So I'm just going to turn this off. Let's say I have an object. Let's say I have a triangle. Okay, and I want to repeat this triangle over and over. This is a very simplified version of what I was showing you earlier. You can click on the right side onto repeat grid, and then you just pull these two handles to the sides and it repeats the grid. And now you can adjust the padding between the different objects, right? So you can even create.
Oh, I think, Julia, I think we're talking about when you click on the artboard level, not repeat grid, but if you click on the artboard and you go to the properties panel and okay, so let's click on one of these artboards and we go to the properties panel and see where it says layout and under grid. If we check that box, we can show folks how they can add columns.
Sure,
yeah. So just showing how you can make columns. So I think, you know, if you're working on a particular platform that has 15 columns or 12 columns, Julia can show you how you can make different column lists that would work for your design and your development process.
Yeah, for sure. So you can decide the amount of columns on over here, the gutter width, the column width, and even adjust the different distances. And you can make a default for yourself to use on multiple artboards. So this is the default in this case. And so this really helps you, to kind of organize your objects inside the artboard. And it's really amazing to create something that's aligned and to create a great layout for your application or whatever you're designing. Presentation can be anything.
That's perfect. I think that answered the question. Thanks so much, Julia. So we're getting so much excitement here. We learned about,
Awesome.
just to review, design, prototype, and share some cool plugins that you can use in XD. We learned about resources that you can find in XD. We did have a question if there was anchor links available in prototype mode, and if there's an option where we can show maybe how you can link to something like down lower on the artboard. Maybe that real example would be perfect. Yeah.
Let us see.
Okay.
A good example here.
Yeah. So if you just in prototype mode, select one of those little words in the menu and drag a wire down to one of the sections below in the page, it should drop you right down to that page. It's called the scroll to.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go into real and
scroll to footers.
So, yeah, there you go. So you can click on
let's
real.
say, So if you
Perfect.
click on reel now, you are getting scrolled to the bottom of the page. So let's see how this looks. I'm selecting the artboard and now I'm clicking on reel, and this was really fast, but yeah, we scrolled all the way down to the page. Let's adjust this a little bit and make the duration a little bit longer. Let's say the duration of about 4 seconds. And now let's take a look at this again. Click on reel and we go through the whole page. I think this is also a great tool to, to present a site like this to the client. And you can, of course, use that at the bottom of the page to kind of click back to top. So, if we, for example, if we had a button here, go back to top, it would animate all the way back to the top. Yeah, awesome.
So cool.
And
one thing
I also really like using is connecting my iPhone. So if you download the XD app on your phone or any mobile device, you can preview your designs right on your iPhone. So I would have to connect my phone to my computer, and I would have to click my little preview, and I can even scroll down on my iPhone. So I think this is also a really great way to kind of really preview how a product feels, and the usability. Are the buttons on the right spots? Where my fingers are comfortably located. So that's also really great, to use when designing.
I think we have time for maybe one more question, and this is a good one. Sure. I think they want to see one more time, like really slowly, like dragging a wire from one artboard to another. So just what is a wire, and how does that make things happen in XD in prototype mode? Just kind of describing a wire, what some of those properties are, and just seeing again how you can connect one artboard to another in prototype mode.
Okay, so let's take a look at this example here. So we have these two options here. We have these two artboards, and we have this design that has been copied and extended. So let's create an animation between these two. So okay, they're actually already wired here. So let's remove these real quick so I can show you guys. All right, so I want to create an interaction between this board and artboard and this artboard. So I'm going in, I'm selecting the whole artboard, and I'm dragging the little arrow here to the other artboard. So now they have an interaction happening, but what type of interaction it is, you can determine on this interaction panel. So the trigger will be, let's say, time. So after 0.4 seconds, one artboard auto animates to the other. So we select auto animate. There's different other actions that you can select. I really love auto animate. It's one of my favorites. And I'm going to do ease in and out. And destination is correct. It's this artboard called Web 1282. And the duration, let's say, will be 1 second. So now let's take a look at this. We have a smooth animation between these two artboards. And this is also a great, experience that we can create. Let's take a look at this again. And you can also see how smooth, basically, the graph translates into the different size. Yeah, so this is basically what those handles can do. And to create states, you can simply select the artboard and click the button. So then you have this little arrow that basically is just, link to the artboard. And here you can determine the triggers. Let's say it's a tap, and then we want to do to go to the transition to the previous artboard. Oh no, actually we didn't set up any states yet, so we have to set up states in design. So let's say, okay. So we have this, okay, let's make it simple, guys. Let's just make a transition back to the other artboard.
Yeah, I think just a transition is good for now, because we want to definitely save some time for the raffle.
Yeah, for sure. As you guys can see, this can get really, like, you can make really complex things with XD, but for now it's good if we start a little bit if we start a little bit easy on the easy note. Auto animate, ease in and out. All right, now let's take a look at this. We can even create something like this that moves on and on without the end, just because we created this circle of animation, right? All right,
cool.
Hopefully this answers the questions.
Yeah. I also put resources in the chat for everyone to go and learn more about prototyping and all the topics that Julia mentioned today. And it's the moment I think we've all been waiting for, Julia.
Yeah,
we have about 4 minutes left, so we have a giveaway.
We have a giveaway for you guys, and it's 1 year of Creative Cloud. And I'm so excited. I'm going to announce the trivia question, and we will have a winner. So just type the answer into the chat box, and we will determine a random winner for the 1 year subscription.
Yeah, so everyone who answers the question correctly, whoever gets, out of all the correct answers, we will randomly select someone from the correct answers. You get about 60 seconds to answer, and we'll randomly select someone, and that will be who you get the Creative Cloud. And just so you know, don't sign off right away, because I'm going to need you to send me an email with some information so that I can get you that subscription, okay? So everybody better been paying attention to Julia, because she's got the trivia question here. So we'll test you and see if you've been paying attention.
Okay. So my question is, what is the feature in XD that allows you to transition from one artboard to the other?
Ooh, does anybody know?
Exciting.
What's the feature that allows you to create a micro interaction between artboards? What's the feature called that allows you to create micro interactions between artboards? We're about 30 seconds in. We've got a couple right answers. I'm seeing some come through. There's an actual feature that allows you to create interactions, movement between artboards. All right, getting some more right answers here.
One of my favorite features.
Yeah.
In XD.
Okay, you're down 10 seconds for anyone else who wants to answer. And then, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so Julia, you tell us what the answer is, and I'm going to find a random winner, and I will announce it in just a second.
All right, you guys ready? And it is Auto Animate.
Okay, so that looks like our winner is going to be, I'm counting here. Holy cow, there's so many people. We're going to do, holy cow. Wow, so many. I'm going to pick out of this, I'm just doing a random number. Holy cow, there's so many. Let's just do Claire Nguyen, Nguyen. Claire is the winner. Yay!
Claire
Congratulations, Claire.
Congratulations, Claire, for auto animate. Correct answer. Yes. So Claire, I'm going to put my email address here in the chat. I want you to please send me an email. I'm going to need to get some information from you. in order to give you that subscription. So congrats, Claire.
Congratulations. For everybody else, you can make a Creative Cloud account and use XD for free. So it's totally free.
All right, join us again. I hope we can come back and Emily, talk to you guys again at Designlab and do more fun XD tutorials and workshops.
Yeah, should I stop sharing right now so we can kind of...
Yeah, and then we can all be on screen.
Yeah, that would be good.
Thank you both for being here. This was awesome. I learned everything. It seems like we've converted a lot of people. We've definitely piqued everyone's interest here. So super exciting. Thank you guys for all being here.
All right.
This is
So
an
Claire,
awesome topic.
Yeah, send me that email, Claire. Please don't forget, it's just my last name at Adobe, so we can get you that Creative Cloud. I can't wait. Hopefully we can come back again and do more XD content for Designlab. I hope we can see all of you guys again.
Thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, Designlab, and everybody who was in the chat. Congratulations, Claire, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And as a reminder, guys, this video will be up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So I'll share that link one more time in the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome.